Okay na yung recording mo?
Yes.
Audio okay? I think si Juan na dapat mag-operate at waalis ka na.
Ikaw naman. Mic test niya po.
Mic test.
Mic test. One,
Check,
two,
check.
three.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Talk show pala ito.
Talk show ito eh. Okay. Sige. Please tell us who you are and why you chose filmmaking in your chosen field. In your chosen field. In your chosen field. Yes, serious muna tayo.
Why you chose, ano? Film?
Why you chose film in your chosen role?
Role.
As a director, as a producer?
Go, Miss Lee.
How did you start? Ano yung beginnings? Doon tayo nagsisimula. Talk show
Unpacking the trauma.
Simula.
Mabuti nang alam nila. Okay, ikaw muna, Miss D.
Oh, sige. Hindi ako film student. Tambay lang ako ng film sa UP. But I was actually from another college. Tapos, yung role kasi at that time, di ko alam kung ganun pa rin ngayon, pero at that time, everybody wanted to be a director or a DOP or a PD, but somebody had to produce. Kasi, merong kailangan mag-produce. So, kaya ako napunta dun sa path na yun. But that's not actually how I started. I started as a wardrobe stylist and also eventually a PD, then PM, LM, and then line producing, and then producing.
So, ginawa mo lahat?
Long and short. Oo, kasi I think if you wanna be a producer, you have to
So, nag-camera ka na rin?
Hindi. Pero try next time. Hindi. Sa mga student projects, kanyan, thesis, but not as a profession.
Well, who are the other, sorry, Miss D, ano pa yung mga other films that you've done recently, aside from, we know Fireflies is one of your projects?
Yeah. Okay.
Yung mga directors that you've worked with?
Yeah,
aside
so
from
last
directing?
year, produced Bold Eagle. It was a short film by Wami Alcazarin for Q Cinema. So actually, nasa New York si Wami ngayon for it.
Is it a short film or?
Short film. And then, before that, it was break, pandemic, and mom break. Pero, so the last film I did before Fireflies and Bold Eagle was, for Cinema One, Tayo Muna, and then before that, it was Fisting for Wami, and Mamang for Cinemalaya.
Mamang.
Oh, yeah.
That's where you met also. Was that the first time you worked with Miss Celeste also? The producer of Fireflies.
Yeah.
Okay. Ano yung trauma na yung kailangan i-unpack? Wala pa tayo doon. Joke lang. Follow up na lang yun. How about you, Direct?
So, where did I start?
Where did you start and why did you choose?
I started in the ComDep, which is in the old ComDep. Kami ni Pong were one batch apart. He was one batch higher and I was below him. And then, I started, in high school, I guess. Nung high school, kung anyone from Ateneo High School?
Meron, a few.
Ayun. So, I don't know if they still do the, ano yung tawag doon? Yung interclass competition under the Filipino.
Do they still do that? Or?
Palig, yeah. The fourth year, it was short films. So, that was my first exposure to film, to directing short films. We did a parang short film for that class and for that competition. But nung college, I started out wanting to be a director for commercials. And then
medyo mahirap siya.
wanted to do commercials and also music videos. So at that time when we were growing up, it was the height of MTV. When MTV was still showing music videos. And then also Mix was in its infancy. So yun. So nung time na yun, pa-explode na yung music video scene at the time. No? So that's what I wanted to concentrate on. But I landed in certain classes in the ComDep. I took a class under Quark Henares, which was directing short or independent filmmaking. And then I also took another class under Direct Marilu Diaz Abaya, which is parang feature filmmaking. No? So, because of those 2 classes, I got exposed to film directing and decided that I wanted to do also filmmaking, directing for film. No? So, luckily, after college, I was able to do all. So, I started with music videos. And then eventually, I was able to, with the portfolio that I built doing music videos, with Pong, I was able to build a portfolio and became my ticket to doing commercials, and then also dun sa mga music videos na nagawa ko, it also allowed me to make my first film, which was called Bang Bang Alley, which was produced by Ellie Buendia. And then from there, I did another 2 more films with Pong. And included na dun yung Song of the Fireflies. So, yeah. That's the story.
So, direct, you also were, there was a time you were going into writing also.
I also went to Star Cinema for 2 years as part of their concept or creative development group. So basically, yung job namin nun was to develop storylines for future projects. No? So parang we were a creative team. Tapos every 2 or 3 weeks, every week we would meet mga twice or thrice. Tapos mag-brainstorm lang kami, and then we would be assigned mga celebrities na sinong i-prepare. Kunyari, okay, gawa tayo ng movie about Piolo and Juday. Kunyari, reunion project. Parang gano'n. Go, brainstorm. Parang ganyan. So, yun yung naging role namin. But in that 2-year stint, I was also able to write my first screenplay, which is called Babe, I Love You. Starring Ann Curtis and Sam Milby. So yun. I think nasa Netflix. Hindi ko alam kung nasa Netflix or...
I haven't seen it.
So, or...
Not face.
Yeah.
Ayun. But that was in 2010 or 2011. So, ayun.
Babe, I Love You.
Babe, I Love You.
Sayang wala si Lou. Gagawa raw siya ng...
Ah, bakit?
Si Lou raw gagawa ng cheesy rom-coms.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start talking about Fireflies.
Then go.
So tell us about Fireflies, how it started, and how you prepared for the film in your roles as director and as producer.
Ako muna, mas mahaba yun sa'yo.
Sige. Ako muna?
Ako muna.
Sige,
mas
go.
mahaba yun. So,
Yung show yung behind the scenes na.
see, Fireflies, it started a long time ago, but I wasn't part of it yet. So we have 3 executive producers, and basically they're also the producers. Si Celeste Lagaspi, si Girlie Rodis, and si Rachel Alejandro. They're the same team who produced Ang Larawan for Metro Manila Film Festival. And at first, onboarded with them was a different producer. The same producers that they had for Ang Larawan. But then they had to, noong 2019, like around mga October, November, tinawagan ako si Celeste na they're looking for another supervising producer because their previous producer couldn't commit to the film anymore. So, basta kayo script, nalaman ko kung sinong involved. So, syempre, nandun si Pong, so na-excite ako dyan.
Yeah, right.
Pero,
Na-excite siya kay Direk.
and then, the fact lang na it's a film about music, yon. I think that's what excited me most about the film. Tsaka, syempre, it's a big challenge. Pero first off, yung supervising producer role was something that I have never done before. It was either I was line producer or producer. And sige, i-explain ko lang na mabilis, no? So, pag line producer with films, iba pa yung line producer sa advertising. So, pag line producer with films, you come in during the pre-production. Mostly done na yung development. You come in sa pre-production. You make sure, basically, you make sure, well, first off, that you have an accurate cost estimate of the entire film production from pre to post. not necessarily including marketing, sales, and distribution. It's really just the production of the film. Tapos you have the right people onboarded for the film, and you run the day-to-day operations too, making sure that everything is aligned to how the director and the producers and other creative members of the team see the movie to happen. So that's basically your role as a line producer, to make it happen on a production level. But as a producer, you're more involved. Most of the time, the producer is also the proponent or in tandem with the writer or the director na this is something that I want to bring to the screen, and what do I have to do to develop this para umabot tayo sa stage of production. And then even after that, you're involved after post, sales, marketing, distribution, and everything else. And most of all, I think most importantly, you have a stake in the film. So whether or not it's still a bit, like no, important to, you should treat it as a business if you plan on producing. You have to know if you're doing it to recuperate some of the money, or you really want to earn from it, or if it's something that you're just doing for your portfolio, like as an investment for future projects. Pero as a producer, that's something you think about. As a line producer, not necessarily. Parang you're just given a talent fee to mount the production. So as a producer, yun yung important part of it. You have a stake in the film. So as a supervising producer, it was like on a parang producer level, in a sense that you have to protect the interest of your executive producers. Kasi, syempre, and then at the same time, make sure na the production gets what it needs to be able to do it properly, to mount the film properly. So, pero as a supervising producer, wala akong stake dun sa film. I do not have any shares on it, equity on it. Pero...
So it's not on you na kung kumita siya?
No, not necessarily. Pero syempre, parang it's still my role to protect my EPs, the people who hired me, na to make sure na it is done properly.
Does it feel like you're the middleman?
It feels like that. Honestly, it feels like that talaga. Parang the executive producers parang really count on you to make sure na malagyan ng justice yung film at the same time. You also have to be able to assess and balance kung ano yung kailangan talaga ng material para mangyari siya. Kasi you can't just parang hindi mo pwedeng isipin lang kung ano yung sa side ng executive producers, kasi if what they're not thinking will not be effective or will not work for the material, parang it is on you also. It will be your responsibility also to tell them na that will not work that way. So we have to listen to the creative team or ganon. I
also feel, I want to add, Miss D also had, or as her role as supervising producer, also shared in the vision, or she also had a vision for the film. I always, I felt like if not for her, the film would be a different kind of film. Pwedeng natapos namin na-direct yung film with a different producer, but because she was on board, it was that kind of film, where it came out like that because of her supervision and her, I guess, ideas in the film, in her investment in it. Yun.
Nasagot ko na ba lahat ng questions? Okay.
Meron pa namang mga questions.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Ikaw, Direk, anong kwento mo sa Fireflies at saka sa...
Yung Fireflies naman, it landed...
Papakita na ba tayo ng behind the scenes?
I became attached to Fireflies in 2019 din ba? 2019 din ba? Or
early kasi
a little earlier
tayo. Kasi nag-usap pa kayo ng writer who is Sarge Lacuesta.
So parang yung story was, producers of Ang Larawan wanted to produce or to develop a story about the Lobok Children's Choir, so in Bohol. And then they got a writer to write it, si Sarge Lacuesta, and a producer to start the ball rolling. No? Si Alim Bergang was the original. No? And then they got me to parang they attached me to direct the film, to direct the film, coming from my previous experience with the producer, si Alem. Because at that time, we had also just finished another film called Tandem with, ano naman yun, that was with JM De Guzman and Nico Antonio. Si Alem,
MMFF rin yun, di ba? Indie.
yeah, the MMF New Wave. So, yun. So, I knew Alem because of that. And then, Alem recommended me to their team to direct Song of the Fireflies. No? So, actually, medyo weird nga. Lagi kong kinukwento to kasi yung before Fireflies, yung previous 2 films na ginawa ko were all dark and gritty. Like, death, guns, bloods and crips. Tapos, yun. So, medyo malayo, parang left of field talaga tong project na to kasi kita mo naman.
Mga bata.
Miss Mori, di ba?
Hindi pwedeng pumatay ng bata.
Puro mga bata.
Mga previous films niya, easily may pamamatay ng bata.
Kumakanta, ganyan, di ba? So, yun. So, which was a welcome for me kasi, yun nga, parang, I think after having done Tandem, parang sabi ko talaga sana makagawa ko ng project na pahinga muna sa dugo. And so yun. So I was fortunate enough to be to be called into this project. And then pero when I came on board, they already had a writer and a producer. So parang it was more my role started when when I came in, the writer had already gone to Lobok for research. So parang may initial materials and stuff, no. So I think my role as director started parang it was more trying to develop the story based on what was researched, no. So parang here are the facts, no. So the Lobok Children's Choir kasi is the Song of the Fireflies is a parang based on a real story or parang inspired by a real choir, no. So and it's also set in the 80s, so it's a period film. So there were a lot of research involved sa pagdevelop ng story. So I came in sort of as a parang kabatuhan ni Sarge sa pagbuo ng script, no. But so si Sarge would develop the script and then he would throw it to me and to the producers and then we would give our feedback. So naging maraming back and forth yan from 2018 all the way until 2020 when it was supposed to be shot. 2020 was the year Song of the Fireflies was supposed to be filmed. But of course, yun nga, nagka-pandemic, so we had to take a break. But it was mga 1.5 years of back and forth sa pag-develop ng story. And then 2019, the producers wanted to produce or get the ball rolling, so they wanted to start with a trailer, parang a sizzle. They call it usually either a trailer or a sizzle reel. Parang it's really more to excite potential financiers or potential investors for the film. So, nung time na yon, we had a script. But it wasn't final yet. But what we did was I selected some parang scenes or imageries from that draft para maisama dun sa trailer, no. Tapos at the same time yun, nag-produce na rin ng song that was going to be used for the trailer, no. So
Written by
Sarge Lacuesta, who's the writer of the film, and then it was arranged and composed by wala naman, hindi naman, no big deal.
Some
Mr. Ryan
artists.
Cayabyab. So, yeah.
So the song in the trailer is composed
Yan,
by Sir Ryan, and the lyrics of that song is by also the writer of the film.
And then, yeah.
Nag-collab lang naman siya with
Maliit na bagay lang
with
naman.
Ryan.
With Ryan. With Ryan. So, yun. And then, so the trailer came out 2020, I think January 2020.
No,
So we were...
December
December.
2019.
MMFF.
Oh, actually, MMF 2019, nag-air na siya. Tapos 2020, nag-ocular na kami for the film.
Miss D was on board.
Si D was already on board for the film. Nag-ocular na kami, punta na kami Bohol, tapos nag-ocular na kami sa CCP, multiple locations. And then, yun, nag-COVID. So, yun, we had to stop production and literally wait kung matutuloy siya or hindi. So, yun. So, para it took us about mga 3 years before, or 2 years before, we found out na game na siya. So,
meron pa tayong feeling nun before it started. Tuloy na ba talaga to?
Yeah.
Like, until,
matagal na radio silence.
Ano yung moment na
Tuloy na talaga?
Ano yung feel? Kailan yun? I think you said that yung talagang tuloy na pala talaga to.
Ano ba? Kailan ba?
Day 1 na ba? Or even nung dumating na tayo sa lubong?
You mean...
When did you feel
when
talagang...
Well, ako, na-feel ko lang siya na ito na talaga yung pelikula when we were already shooting sa day 1. So...
Even parang days before
kasi
that.
even when we were planning for the shoot, di namin alam kasi nangyari na rin yun nung 2020, ganun, and so we weren't sure. Maraming factors na kasi 2020 dapat mag-shoot. So we had majority of the cast were kids. So syempre plus 2 years, so hindi namin sure kung if they still look the part or tumanda or kailangan ba namin mag-recast, ganun. So luckily, yun, pasok pa naman. And then, yun, so we started shooting April this year.
Right after Holy Week.
So, yun.
April
this year.
Follow-up lang ako, direct. So, you were mentioning that you came from a different film genre, gritty, ganyan. And currently, recently you did another horror film, for example. So how does that evolve for each genre? How does your preparation, or is it like, can you tell us more about how you prepare for each film?
So right after Fireflies, meron akong other project from 2019 that got postponed and then tinuloy this year. So it's called Kampon. It's also, this one naman is coming out in the MMFF this year. So yun, so yung sinasabi ni Pong na another film. But that one naman, back to horror. Back to naman. So, back to blood. So, we had to... it parang completely different genre. So, from coming of age, youth, whatever, to horror, suspense, thriller, ganyan. Medyo... Paano ba? Mahirap siyang italon from... I think more than yun nga sinasabi ko always pagka tinatanong ako, mas madali tumalon from commercials to film and back than jumping from one film to another with a different genre. So commercials kasi to film parang one and done. After the project, it's parang your investment in it is really not as big as an 18-day shoot, diba? Set in the province, parang ganun. But it's also a parang challenge in terms of the mindset. Kasi parang coming from yung, when you talk about investment, diba? Hindi lang siya parang time and energy. It's also yung, diba? Parang the emotion that you put into a project, diba? Parang because you're attached with this project for so long, diba? Parang may emotional investment ka rin, diba? So, yung talon from that to a different is also parang challenging. Di ko alam kung wala akong choice. So kinailangan lang siyang gawin and so
iba-iba lang talaga yung preparation, but for the most part you really just had to get to it.
Parang muscle through wala kang choice So
interesting yun na iba yung mindset at saka yung challenge ng film sa advertising also. Ibang-ibang talaga. Iba yung challenge talaga. Interesting yung sinabi mo. So, next question is, like, what is your relationship with, or characterize your relationship with the other departments on the film set? For example, of course, the cinematographer, the production designer, post-production, producers. And follow-up to Miss D in particular, in the production department, sino pa bang nandun sa under you?
Yeah. Okay. So in the producing department, since I'm the supervising producer, we have a separate line producer, si Nia, who basically nagpatakbo nung buong shoot namin.
On the ground?
On the ground. Although nasa post pa rin naman siya, pero mas malaki talaga yung responsibility during pre-prod and prod ng line producer together with the production manager, the location manager, we have our talent coordinator, syempre we have the PAs, who else was there? Lahat ng part ng logistics is under the production management department, which is headed by the line producer also. Yeah.
So what's your relationship with the other departments naman aside from the...
Sipon. Nagagawa ng kape ko.
Yun lang.
So even with, during pre-production, syempre you work closely with the other departments, especially if you're producing, kasi it's the only way that you can make sure na healthy yung push and pull between departments to make the film happen. Kasi for example, ang location and production design, tight yung niyan, yung coordination niyan.
Correct.
Kasi whatever kulang sa location, production design will bring, at kung maganda yung location, it lessens the requirements of the production design. So that's one thing. And production design and the camera department also work closely together kasi
dahil mahal.
Tsaka it's not only yung look sa set, tsaka kung paano ma-affect, kasi even the practicals na kailangan for the lighting is requested from the production design. So all of these, ideally, you figure out during pre-production to make sure, more than anything else, that you are aligned with your budget, tsaka hindi ka masyadong nagbibigay ng importance on one department unless sobrang kailangan. For example, ito na lang, kunwari ang music. For every film that I've done in the past, parang yung budget for music almost parang stays the same for every project. Pero for this one, kinailangan talaga niya ng bigger chunk of the budget. So, given that, saan ako magbabawas in other areas? So, yun yung mga strategic decision-making that you have to make as a producer, and you have to see all of that. So, I guess good point then is yung having foresight that you cannot learn actually theoretically. The only way you can gain foresight is when you've worked on multiple productions. And I think that's the most important skill of supervising a production.
So buti na lang you went through all the roles before being a supervisor.
At saka buti na lang deep yung trauma ko, so alam ko what to watch out for. Alam ko yung babantayan ko.
Natuto
Tapos yung kahit yung kay Pong, yung kausapin namin yung supplier namin who is CMB for the lighting and camera, kasama pa namin siya to negotiate. As in, ganun ka-heavy yung investment and involvement niya and the other members of the team din to make sure na makuha namin yung gustong vision of the creative team.
Speaking of, how about you, Direk? Ano yung relationship mo with the other departments? And actually, I want to add to that, like how do you share that kind of, how do you build the team and share in your vision of the film? Diba?
How?
Like, ano bang mga sikreto? How do you foster that?
Sa pelikula?
Pelikula. Dito, pwedeng sa Fireflies, pwedeng in particular.
So, well, I don't know if si Pong has already stressed this enough, pero sa film and sa production, very collaborative talaga yung process ng filmmaking. So, or at least that's how I perceive production to be or filmmaking. No? Parang the way I approach yung paggawa ng pelikula is really more allowing the different departments, cinematography, production design, styling, wardrobe, hair and makeup, artista, editing, to be able to give their own piece in the puzzle. So, parang, like for example, I don't know if si Pong shared, but he had his own treatment. He shared this parang treatment for the film in terms of the look, in terms of the feel, which Pong and I had discussed before he created it. No? Parang,
lot of conversation.
A lot of back and forth between me and Pong. And also same with the other departments. No? So like for example, with regards to the wardrobe, like ako, inaamin ko coming into the project na yung limited yung experience ko with it because it's a period film. It's set in 1980, 1981.
81.
At that time, di pa ako pinapanganak. No? So, we had styling team who was our senior sa amin. So,
na may vision board rin.
Na may vision board din. Pero it was a lot of back and forth also with them with regards to how we wanted the look of the film to turn out. No? Pero, I think for Firefly specifically, naging swerte kami kasi we already had shot the trailer. So, yung trailer sort of served as our parang, paano ba? Parang it was a look test of some sort in terms of like kung paano namin imamount yung shots, ano yung itsura, ganyan, paano namin siya i-edit, fast-paced ba siya or mabagal, parang ganun.
Even yung locations itself napunta.
Even yung locations, ganyan. So, parang medyo naging swerte na kami because before shooting the film, binuo na namin yung trailer. So, we sort of had an idea already of what kind of film we wanted to do. Which is what came out in the trailer. No? So, yun. Pero a lot of it is really collaborating with your different, parang, and it doesn't stop sa pre-prod eh. Parang actually minsan all the way until post, I allow the different departments to sort of give their input, no? I don't think it works for all directors. Not all directors want. Kasi yung iba, I think, parang prefer nila kasi parang very, I guess, buong-buo na sa kanila yung, yung vision nila. So, they prefer na to execute it the way they had imagined it. No?
That's true.
Pero, so it doesn't work the same way for all filmmakers. No? I, though, choose to have a parang overall vision first. But, I allow also the different departments to sort of have their moment also to or give their inputs also sa pagbuo ng pelikula, no? So yeah.
Okay.
Good point yung sa trailer. Kasi since I came in late into the production, parang I think ganun ko enable like ano yung production value dapat nung film to make this trailer happen to full length.
To a full length.
Pero may mga that was a parang good starting point creatively for the parang okay, so more or less ito yung parang vision natin. But when we were planning for the shoot already, for the full film, no, doon na pumasok yung mga specifics, no. So like for example, with regards to the cinematography, it was a conscious decision na we wanted Bohol to look, very wide and very picturesque and pero pagdating natin sa Manila, gusto natin parang pasikip yung feeling, no? So, yun yung parang creative choices na
may ginamit the word si Sarge for that. In Manila should feel it's like an architect, brutalist. Parang ganun.
Yun. So parang yun yung at least visually how do we execute that or how do we make that happen, no? So, yun yung mga stuff na yun yun yung mga nabuo nung binubuo na namin or nung pinaplano na namin yung pelikula.
You were saying something about shooting in, can you tell us more about how your role in particular, shooting in Bohol, bringing everyone there, how was it? Like, di ba? Trauma na naman ba?
Parang ang daming
parang hindi siya ready sagutin. Like, how was it? Like, shooting in Bohol? Kasi this particular script is set in, di ba? A different, di ba?
I think the gist of it, any out-of-town shoot that you will have, you need to have a proper contingency. Kasi kahit you cannot plan for everything when it's an out-of-town shoot and something will always come up and something will always happen. Kahit no matter how hard you try na to keep within your plan, it's like
it's up to God.
I mean, it's like traveling. Kahit may itinerary ka, you scheduled every hour, like something will really happen. Pero mahirap talaga kasi we had different modes of transportation going there. So, yung staff and yung cast, syempre, they'll have to fly in. Pero yung equipment and other heavier stuff, kailangan mong ipadala through Roro.
Mga ilang araw rin yan, no? Parang yung trucks.
Tapos, so syempre, habang bumabiyahe yun ng 48 hours, yung kaba mo rin, hindi mo rin mapalagay. Oo. Tapos, you have to assess the risks that you would take. For example, this was question to me, so I will not forget this. Yung cast, they will be shot, for example, today. Pero it is up to you to assess to bring them to Bohol the day before or the day itself. Bringing them to Bohol, like the same morning, will cost you less kasi you don't have to accommodate them, feed them. Pero that also gives you a higher risk. You know, what if may delay or anything? So yun yung mga stuff na kailangan mong gawin.
Interesting. On this part of the class, I want to show a scene that Direk has chosen to show us.
Inisip ko nga paano mo nila ma-appreciate kung di pa nila nakikita yung film. So I guess
we'll see.
We'll see.
I think it shows a very a good scene. Anong minute nun, Direk?
Andyan ba yung ano?
Ito, naki-text na yung...
Hindi ko alam kung anong minute.
Yung link.
May password yan, uy.
Ang hirap ng password. Sige, Direk, I wanna tell us more about that scene.
So, I think, I wanted to show this scene kasi since alam ko hindi nyo napanood yung film, I wanted to choose a scene that will give context as to what the film will be about. No? So I think that was that scene. No? Parang, kung nakita niyo yung eksena, simple lang siya. It's about Alma and the choir going to the wife of the governor's house. At the house of the wife of the governor. And then, they sing, tapos sinabi ni Iket, si Iket yung wife, no? So, kung ano yung what she wanted to do, no? So, yun. Pero, so, and then, at the same, so, parang the scene, if you notice, establishes so many things. Ang simple lang niya eksena, pero ang dami niya ina-establish na eksena. First of which, you're establishing the talent of the choir. You're establishing the power dynamics between Alma and Iket. And then you're also establishing yung parang potential love triangle, di ba? Parang gano'n, di ba?
Doon sila na-affect, direct.
So, yun. Tapos you're also setting up the contrast between the Provinciano and the Manileño, parang gano'n. So, all within a scene na the kids have to sing, parang gano'n. So, yun yung reason why I wanted to show it to you. Para at least may idea kayo of what the But I wanted also to share it because it also has a... shooting it, mukha siyang simple, but actually it took us a whole day to shoot that scene. From, I think mga 10 a.m. all the way until mga 7, 8 p.m. Buong araw namin yung shoot.
Tapos, naalala ko yung kinikwento ko, Miss D, yung line na sinabi ni Iket na, ay, ba't hindi kayo kompleto? it was because we couldn't shoot the entire core because a lot of them were too young. And hindi namin sila, mapapalalang pa sila sa oras na pwede sila on set. So I think,
But also in this, ayun,
Was it
yun
all-
naman talaga yung nasa script.
alright.
Yun talaga yung nasa script.
Pero I think,
But anyway, yun, yeah, mahirap siya i-shoot. Kasi if you notice, ang dami niyang angles.
Yeah.
If you look at the blocking, for the most part, nakatayo lang yung mga characters or static lang yung mga characters, which meant na you have to tell the story through the camera angles, no, and the editing, no. So, which meant na in production in the Philippines, more shots mean more money to produce, which means more time to, takes more time to make, no, parang ganun. So, itong scene na to, kahit napakasimple lang niya, ang hirap niya kasi ang dami niyang ina-establish na plot points, but also, and because ang dami niyang ina-establish na plot points, ang dami mong kailangan, parang you have to find a way to shoot it, to be able to tell clearly yung mga ano. And I think naman, actually kayo yung first test audience for that scene. So kayo yung first na nakita. So I think, based on the reactions, parang mukhang na-hit naman yung mga, with clarity, yung mga,
dahil na yung kilig.
yun, kilig din. Yeah, it took, so I did mention na it took more a whole day to shoot, which meant also that in terms of shooting it, some shots had to be shot at night. So, pero hindi nyo nahalata, di ba? Yun. So, may mga shots dyan na, that, parang inabot na yun ng dilim kasi actually.
Galing ni Pong.
Galing eh. So, yun.
Yeah.
Pero,
Maraming ginaya. Buti na lang nasa loob.
but it was, but it was also, to be able to shoot that, we had to plan it carefully also. Pong had to know that we were shooting at night para alam niya kung ano yung equipment na gagamitin niya for that day.
And the kind of, what kind of coverage we had
And
for
what
that
kind
scene.
of coverage. Also, we had a storyboard for that. Naka-storyboard siya. Because it was ilang pages? 5-page script. So, yun. So, I don't know if eventually pag gumawa na kayo ng short films nyo, you'll know how difficult or challenging the shoot will be. Not necessarily just in the what's in the scene, but in the number of pages. So, if mas mahaba yung page ng isang eksena, ibig sabihin, mas mahirap siya i-shoot. So, yun.
You wanna add anything, Miss D, about that scene, or you remember anything about shooting in this film?
Wala naman. Sabi.
No, wala naman. Sige, so I wanna open up the questions before I ask harder, difficult, traumatic questions. Anyone wanna ask questions about, especially even about advertising sa roles nila also, kasi Miss D also does line producing, tama? For advertising. Sa mga directors rin. Anyone? Questions about this scene? Sige, Risa.
When it comes to commercials, how do you go about working with the clients? Like, what's your process like for both po?
Gusto mo? Ako muna? O, sige.
Sige.
Gusto mo ba? Ako yung sumagot ng tanong ko. I think ito yung... Is anyone planning to do commercials or advertising? Or you want to? A few more? Okay. So, as director or as what?
Producer.
As producer. Okay. So, for those who want to be a director for commercials, yung one big difference ng directing for film and directing for commercials is that pag director ka for film, you are the director. You're the only director. Pag commercials, you are the director, and so is the creative director, and so is the art director, and so is the copywriter, and so is the client. So, which means, in terms of decision-making sa commercials, hindi lang ikaw ang, kumbaga, the buck doesn't stop at you. So, maraming heads na kailangan mag-decide. No? So, Yun. So, in terms of process, because ganun yung setup ng commercial directing or commercial producing, it means, because mas maraming heads involved, it means mas maraming planning also involved in terms of,
Then you can play it on my iPod.
costing, down from costing and storyboarding all the way hanggang executing.
For the writing.
Just airdrop it so you can play it. Sa video yan, no?
Pati
Video
rin sa
shower.
producing, I guess.
Ano po siya? Photos. Kaya ba yun?
Matagal ba yung
Sa
output
commercials
na sa-
kasi,
Output mo siya
usually,
Nasa
the
video, then
director comes in, when the director comes in, meron ng storyboard, meron ng idea, meron ng concept. More often than not. And I think yun yung what people need to realize when you enter advertising production. By the time the storyboard gets to you, ibig sabihin, marami na pinagdaanan yung storyboard na yun.
Correct.
Marami nang batuhan yung agency and client, marami na silang pinag-awayan, marami na silang tinanggal, marami na silang
Marami nang
dinagdag.
umiyak.
Marami nang umiyak, marami nang nagalit, batuhan ng before siya nakarating sa'yo. Parang ganon. So, yeah, that's why it's important. Even as producers, sometimes the producers will come in a little earlier than the director in the project. They will come in kapag ka na finally na-lock na yung storyboard, and they will contact a producer, a broadcast producer to start bidding it out to different productions, no? So, yun. So it takes a lot of parang understanding and yun na and planning also, because and with respect, I guess, also
Yeah.
to the material kasi
Respectful also.
because even before it got to you, may journey na siyang sarili, kumbaga. Yun. Yun. I
So
don't
in
know,
a way also, ita-attach na yung lahat ng mga taong yun. More than you. It's possible, di ba? Bago dumating sa'yo. Ikaw?
So, advertising and making commercials is totally different from filmmaking. From top to bottom. Parang first of all, as a producer, none of you, actually ikaw, or kahit sino sa inyo, walang stake dun sa material. Parang you're all hired to do it.
Hard guns.
Yeah. So the client, they'll hire the agency to build the entire campaign, and then just a small part of that campaign will be this one video. It's not even like the entirety of it. It's just a part of it. Tapos they'll get their preferred broadcast producer to find the production house and director to mount it. Pero within the agency, yun na nga, sabi ni Direk, na-discuss na siya, nasulat na siya, nag-back and forth na sa client. Pero that doesn't mean na pagdating sa director, tapos na yun. Parang nangyayari pa rin siya. And because you're hired to do it, every shot is approved. So it takes a longer time than to shoot it kasi it has to be very precise. And everyone parang protects parang their own end. So, para sa producer, kung broadcast producer ka, you're protecting your agency and your client na ito yung gusto nilang mangyari, ito yung nasa board, so ito dapat yung i-shoot. So, if you're a line producer naman and you're part of the production, you're basically yung partner nung director, you have to make sure then na the director's creative vision is also protected and parang walang naagabyado in the entire process. So, even before you shoot, you have this, we call it the pre-production agreement. It's basically your Bible na nakasulat doon, everything you agreed on during production, tas pipirmahan siya ng client. And so,
Gano'n ka nasusunod yun?
Hindi ko alam sa inyo, pero sa amin, nasusunod. Nasusunod naman. So, very specific na ang wardrobe na nakalagay sa pre-production agreement is a yellow shirt and denim pants. Yun yung dapat lumabas sa shoot. Ganon siya ka-specific. Tapos, yun. Tapos, it takes longer to shoot kasi nga ang daming stakeholders. So, shooting a 30-second to 60-second ad will take 1 or 2 days. Unlike when you're creating a film.
30 seconds
Is what?
is just a fraction of the day.
Oh, yun.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Sige. Mar and then Ino and then ang daming may tanong. Sige. Ikaw muna, Mar.
I'm curious more on the relationship between the writer and the director. Because I've heard this kind of thing. Is there some sort of conflict of vision, given that the write-up is something, something that the writer worked on, and suddenly when it reaches the director, medyo iba, pwedeng iba yung how they envision the entire scene. Is there a resolution or a compromise that you and the writer work on so that the output would turn out still a product of both of your creativity?
Oo nga, grabe. Ano ba well, yes.
Inaabangan ko.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So, yes.
Noted with
That's a very good question because di ba nga nabanggit ko na filmmaking is a very collaborative process. So which means na when you collaborate, hindi lang ikaw yung may vision. Parang meron din siyang cinematographer will also have his own idea of the film. The production designer will also have his own idea of the film. And all the more, the writer will have his own vision in the film. So I think it's very, very important that the writer and the director will have the closest collaboration when it comes to the story. So, hindi ko alam how they do it in other productions, pero in my experience, what I try to practice is that I'm very, very involved in the script writing. Parang, as much as possible, mabibigay ko na lahat ng inputs ko to the writer kapag binubuo yung script, no. The writer usually will also have his own ideas, and I think it's also equally important for the director to be able to listen to the inputs of the writer and find merit always dapat find merit in the inputs of the writer. Pero paano ba, it's at the end of the day kasi the director will have to execute what's on paper.
Agreed. Yeah.
Diba? It's not the writer. So parang there has to be some sort of agreement between the writer and the director na kung ano yung napag-uusapan nyo or kung ano yung magiging when it comes on set, the director will have to make the decisions.
Minsan parang paano yung, for example, budget or logistics.
Oh.
Diba? It's
yan. May mga factors, may mga stuff na may mga factors na hindi naman masyadong pinapakialaman ng writer, no. So na kailangan pakialaman ng director. So like for example, yan, logistics, budget, parang ganyan, 'di ba? So parang so like for example, the scene na sinulat is sobrang laki in scope, 'di ba? Yung director will have to choose how he will be able to execute that. So what I try to do is before pa maging problema siya sa shooting, sinosolve ko na siya on paper. So, parang for example, itong scene na to masyadong malaki. Either paliitin natin or tanggalin na natin kung hindi naman siya kailangan. Parang gano'n. So, it's really more finding the script as a director. Finding the script that you are able to execute.
Yeah.
Kasi mahirap yung pagka on set ka tapos itong script na to, maganda nga siya, pero paano mo siya i-shoot? Like, kaya mo ba itong i-shoot? Parang ganyan, diba? So, given your capacity as director, parang gano'n. So, yun yung
Ganda.
Nung pre-prod, nag-meeting pa tayo. Nag-meeting pa kami di direct para i-identify kung ano yung mga cost drivers sa script, tsaka kung anong pwedeng gawin, kung ano yung mga pwedeng tanggalin actually.
Meron nung sa
May mga tinanggal.
original script
May
meron pang barko eh.
Maraming
Mga ganun.
maraming tinanggal na ano. Pero I don't know how it works in other productions na may mas maraming pera. So, yun. Ito kasi had a certain limitation when it comes to the tricks.
Which most projects have. Bye! Enjoy!
Nagbubulungan tayo.
Kakanta na yan. Give, ano yan? Hamilton yun. Ino,
Ay, abot ba siya?
ewan ko, nandiyan naman yung coach niya. Ino muna and then Shay and then Ali and then Ira, raise your hand. Yan. Sige, ganun.
Me naman po, I'm just curious.
Sige, hindi naman pala. Sige, joke. Joke lang yun.
I'm curious lang po as to how parang you came up with the cast. Like, how did you pick like the main character? Like, kasi inisip ko like, parang si Morissette, I haven't seen her act, gano'n. So it would be her
Correct.
first time acting.
Yes.
So like, what was the thought given to like giving her the role?
Ganda.
Yung when it comes to casting, it depends on each production. Pero for this specific one, the producers had pegged Morissette to play the role of Alma. Parang they had Morissette in mind talaga. Even from when we were developing sa gusto talaga nila si Mori. I guess yung reasoning nila was they needed a person to portray a character na very musical, but also be able, parang, I guess with the personality, parang naghahanap sila ng character na who can sort of match the personality of the person that ipoportray, ganun. So, and at the time, they thought Morissette, they wanted a singer also to, So, I think, that was why Morissette was cast.
Nakausap ko sila about this.
Okay.
So, si Mori kasi, when she sings, kita mo that she can act. Kasi kung paano siya kumanta, paano siya mag-perform. Pine-perform talaga niya with, like, feelings, acting, ganyan. So, parang na-identify nung executive producer na, I think kaya nito umarte, gano'n. And background din kasi ng executive producers namin are in theater. So I guess they could see kung sino yung...
Okay. Okay lang.
Tumingin tayong lahat.
But for the other characters, it was my proposal to them was, well, initially actually nag-auditions pa kami niyan eh. Nag-auditions pa kami sa Manila ng kung sino yung who will play the characters and even the support characters. We landed with Noel Comia and Crystal Brimner. Yan, silang dalawa actually nag-audition sila. So that's how they landed the roles. But for the other characters, for the other kids, actually yun yung totoong choir. Yung yeah, that's really
Sino
them.
yun, direct?
Ha?
Dun sa scene, sino yun?
Hindi, basta yung mga kids, sila talaga yung choir. Sila talaga yung Lobok Children's Choir. But, we handpicked some characters, some members of the choir to play mga very minor support roles. So like, for example, kung naalala nyo yung nagtinginan yung tumingin yung isang guy after na yung guy na yun, hinandpick namin siya to play that character, parang gano'n. And then we had a few more characters na may parang speaking lines, parang gano'n. But generally, we wanted to preserve the authenticity of the choir, so which is why we parang cast the choir. And then binigyan namin sila ng acting workshop, parang gano'n. So at the same time, we wanted to make sure na nagbe-blend yung si Noel tsaka si Crystal with the choir para like physically and also with how they talk and their demeanor, ganyan. So it was all part of the acting workshop that we did with
We also discovered some very powerful talents dun sa...
Yeah, oh. So dun sa workshop, meron din kami mga na-discover na mga kids na parang may potential to act.
There were roles that were shifted around because you saw them.
Na-adjust siya during the workshop.
Nandun na kami sa Bohol and then direct said na, ay, siya na lang to. Dapat originally may another cast.
Yeah.
And then there was another role na bigla lang nag-evolve kasi, ay, bas bagay siya dito. Parang, or binigay yung parts ng script na yun to another...
Yung choir is... The actual choir, marami silang members eh. Meron silang performing group, and then they have the training group. No? So, itong cast is a combination of performers tsaka mga in trainees.
Kasi at the same time we were shooting, they were performing in... Saan ba? Were they competing?
Cebu,
or they had...
or...
Oh, they had other commitments. So, parang merong team A, team B na nangyayari. Ang galing nung choir at saka nung directress nila. Na nabigay kay Direk yung kailangan niyang cast. But at the same time, ongoing yung mga happenings. Ganun sila ka-busy as a choir actually. Okay. So, Che, and then Ali. Then Ira.
Since you mentioned po that you were, ayun nga, you're part of the film and the advertising industry, how do you go about managing your time in a way na you don't?
Alam mo, I was gonna save those questions later. Go.
How do you go about managing your time in a way that you're not spreading yourself too thin along like yung projects na nasabay sa...
Yes, direct.
Yeah, since yung roles mo po as producer and director, it's involved in like the entire prod talaga, like from pre to post. So yeah, I was just curious kasi parang ang overwhelming na nga in small scale projects. So what more if like ganyan na parang kailangan mag out of town, ganyan.
Hindi, ikaw muna.
D? Manigas na si D.
Wala. If pag may ganyan, you really block off your entire schedule and you schedule other stuff around.
Dinala mo yung anak mo sa Bohol?
Ay, oo. Yun. Asa mo? Dinala ko yung baby ko sa Bohol.
May laruan kami.
Dinala ko yung baby ko sa Bohol. Kasi, oo. Pero, I guess at first you really have to know then where your priorities lie when you're starting and build on that, and eventually you'll be able to juggle things. Pero you can't do it right away kasi you really need, yung what I mentioned earlier, once you have foresight, you'll be able to to figure things out. Pero I don't advise doing it, juggling it sa umpisa talaga.
Ako, wala akong foresight. Hindi. So, ako, pag pelikula, hindi ko talaga kayang tumanggap ng advertising work. So, I think that's the Kasi, rin parang you have to give respect din also to the project, di ba? Parang, and I think yun yung malaking kasi about films Parang malaki talaga yung attention na hinihingi niya sa'yo. Malaki. So, parang mahirap especially for the director to split that attention with other kasi ang laki talaga ng dinedemand ng
Pero in line with that, like how do you parang keep the fire going? Kasi di ba parang
You don't. Joke lang.
Wala na yung fire.
Like you mentioned po na like yung development parang started yung 2019 tapos parang filming 2022. But in the middle of that, how do you make it sustainable for yourself na parang may mag-accept ka pa?
Parang existential na yung reading natin. Pero practical pala yung tanong yan.
Hindi kasi for Fireflies, nag-stop talaga siya. So we really had no choice but to wait and see and wala siyang, there was no choice. So it was really, we had to work, do something else.
It's a super valid question kasi nung pandemic talagang broke my heart na maraming production na hindi natuloy. And this was one of that. Tapos dumaabot talaga sa point na hindi ko sure kung gusto ko pa siyang gawin.
Oo, tama,
Kasi,
tama. Oo. Ayaw na ba nag-usap tayo niyan?
Oo. Kasi, ang hirap umasa.
Oo, correct. Oo. Mahirap talaga, guys.
Pero eventually,
Medyo may konting...
Parang, ayun pa yung sabi natin na, parang, we have to really if we're doing this, we really have to make this worth it. Kasi, una, hindi siya madaling gawin. Pangalawa, it will take up your entire life. Ang pangatlo, you're investing so much emotional and mental energy into it. So, if you're not going to do it right, parang bakit pa?
Kung half-hearted ka.
Alam mo yung nagkaroon nga tayo ng ganyang conversation.
Pilig natin
before.
sa ganun.
Oo, parang, I think on my end naman, it was more, nung nagsisimula ng magparamdam yung producers, na gusto na nilang gawin ulit. Ako, on my end, I had to revisit the script. Yun literal, hindi ko ginalaw yung script for 2 years. Hindi ko binasa, whatever. But nung sinabi na game na, ni-review ko ulit yung script. And then, I had to make sure, that the script was something that I wanted to do. Still, yun yung parang, yun yung naging challenge for me. Kasi nga, by the time that they were already starting to say, may paramdam na tutuloy ito, ganun talaga, wala talaga. Parang ako, I wasn't feeling it. Like, I wasn't sure kung... I wasn't talaga. Kasi, ang dami masyadong factors.
Siya, no?
Oo, hirap talaga.
Totoo talaga.
Oo, nagkaanak kami. Hindi kami pa.
Naging parents kami, separately.
So, may mga things na I think you have to acknowledge that also. Na you can't always have that passion burning all the time. There will be, and you have to acknowledge na may mga times na hindi ka sure kung magagawa mo to or ano. Because that's part of the process. So, that's why I said na, and I had, but I had to find something to make me want to do it. So, doon nag-start yung will. Parang you have to find something. So, on my end, I had to find a way to make the script producible and something that I will want to direct. Parang ganun.
Hirap ng tanong.
So what did you find?
Dr. Phil na kasi itong
Dito ka na kaya mo pa. Hindi, yung script, marami. More of, ni-revise ko siya. Ginawa ko siyang mas, yung parang, mas producible.
malaki-laki yung vision ng original script.
Adjusted the tone also kasi it was written with 12, 13-year-old characters in mind. So, but when we were starting it, parang the producers had decided na, sige, let's retain the original cast. So I had to do a bit of tone shifting para they speak like their age. Yun, mga ganung stuff.
Ali and then Ira. Then after that, any more questions? Then Yvonne. Ali?
It's a bit related to Ching's question. You mentioned before your mostly investment on the film, sort of, that's the reason why you do it in the first place. Setting aside yung pandemic situation, super dalas ba na projects just get cancelled
During the pandemic?
No,
Ay,
sa
like content.
Okay.
Normal time.
Okay.
Kasi si Direk, for example, yung horror,
Happens.
di ba? And then eventually natuloy rin, di ba?
Yeah. Yun, the other one that I'm doing now also was supposed to be actually nauna yun. That was supposed to be shot 2019. But it got cancelled. It was a casting issue. Got cancelled. So,
Daming factors.
yun din. I wasn't sure kung matutuloy siya until this year. The producer said, actually, the good thing about the producer of the other film that I'm doing, yung Kampon, which is a horror, throughout the pandemic, the producer kept me warm. Yun naman yung naging difference na ano. This one, every once in a while, even during the pandemic, she would call and say na, hey, there might be an opportunity to pitch this to Netflix. Gusto mo ba? Ganyan. But kasama pa rin yung artistang yan. Parang gano'n. And then, later on, she would call again, oh, hey, please prepare the deck. Try natin i-pitch to dun sa artistang ganito, ganyan. So, siya yung talaga na, hindi, matutuloy natin tong project na to. So, she was the one who made sure na it would, So, yun. So, I think, that's also a producer's,
Saka kung game pa sila tumaya rin, di ba?
Oh.
Malaking bagay yun. Kasi taya siya talaga, lalo na kung MMFF film, you're competing against a lot. Diba?
Yeah.
So,
but for advertising, it also happens. It's quite normal na... Kasi in advertising kasi you bid for this project, ganyan. And then it gets awarded either to you or not to another production. No? So, oftentimes, ganyan yung mangyayari na you think you're gonna get it. You have a good treatment with you. You're proud of your treatment. The cost is good, but it will get awarded to someone else.
Because it's that competitive rin talaga.
So normal.
Experience sa film, mas madalas ma-cancel if it's produced by a bigger studio. Pero yung mga independent, syempre, siguro kasi kayo-kayo lang yun. Mas madaling mag-desisyon na
It's
we're
learning.
doing, oo. Pero yung mga bigger studios kasi they have their strategies then in place. So if they feel like, di wag na muna to ngayon, it easily gets shelved.
Or shelved, yeah. That's another term, di ba? It gets shelved. Minsan, na-shoot na yung ibang araw and then, it's
Madalas
not
siya
working.
mangyari sa
Or
bigger
yan,
studio.
also yan, sometimes it's a factor of casting.
Yeah, casting.
Hindi na pwede yung lead na yan.
May hinihintay na, artista.
For the most part, may malaking factor ng casting.
Yep.
Yeah. Diago.
Like, kapag in the middle of the production, tapos na-cancel siya, like, may protection po ba yung mga, like, kayo as director and producer? Yung, ewan ko kung may union dito sa...
Bawal
Wala,
sabihin
no.
yung union eh.
Okay.
Kasi ibig sabihin nun may karapatan ka.
Yung sa contracts nyo ba, like, protected kayo, like, yung pay nyo, if ever na, like, bigla ang makancel?
You need a contract. Parang don't engage in any production without
Tutulog
a
yan.
contract.
We'll get to that.
Is that like a given na, like,
Not all.
No.
No. Not all.
kailangan pa?
Yeah. To make
Depende
sure.
talaga rin. Kasi bawat production rin, iba-iba ng kultura.
Yeah, iba-iba.
Iba-iba. So yes, maganda kung may contract, but doesn't happen that actually, di ba? Doesn't happen all the time. To protect you for that happening. Minsan rin, di ba? Parang you sign the contract and then hindi po, iba pala yung meaning nun. Di ba? Yeah, and then Ira, tama?
Ano po, some of my questions are already answered a bit, but I'd like to ask how is it like working with kids? Because I feel like it's a different environment. Because like dealing with adults, you can with them as adults, you get them instructions. But working with kids would definitely be a bigger challenge than with like bigger.
Yeah. With kids, you have to think of their welfare also. Parang you have to think, I mean, apart from finding a way to communicate to them clearly the instructions that you want, you also have to sort of think of, parang they can't work as long as adults do. Kasi even if you tried, makikita mo talagang yung energy level nila bumababa as time passes, no? So yun. So that's the big difference between adults and kid actors. In terms of communicating with them, I think parang there's a conscious effort also to find the right tone and the right the right way of height, parang ikikid height mo yung the way you speak to them. Kasi parang kung kakausapin mo siya na parang matanda, di ba? Parang may risk na baka hindi maintindihan, ganun, no? So, yun yung mga difference ng
EQ. Yeah. Is that okay? Okay, yeah. Yvonne? Wala na?
Kinda. Like, in like the best way possible. Magkano yung pay ko?
Oh.
No, pero kasi, wait, just to explain lang, kasi there's a difference of course between like how the production works in commercial and how it works in film. But then we also have to be realistic then that mas mapera din yung commercial. So, how do you strike the balance between like having like your creativity shown through film and also like working through the commercials na, you know, must control your freedom. So like how do you balance between finances and like creative freedom?
You don't, joke lang. Paano ba?
I have to be very clear kung ano yung, I guess, yung purpose mo of taking on a project. If you're taking on a project not for money, it's not for money. But if you're taking it for money, it is for money. So, yun lang. And financial planning. Pero, yun na yung long and short of it. And, hindi ako supporter na passion should not be paid. Pero that's how artists and creatives are taken advantage of. So, you have to make
I
sure.
don't necessarily agree na, like, ako personally, maybe sa ibang departments, na mas maraming pay ang advertising automatically. That's the inclination. Kasi unang-una, mas marami rin namang days as mas current yung work mo kapag gumagawa ka ng film. Kung marami kang films na nagagawa, di ba? Pero kung paisa-isa lang rin, possible. Diba? Na sa advertising, the pay is big, but there's fewer days. So, there's the other equation, paano kung TV rin? Mas marami, I feel like mas marami pang kikita yung mga nasa TV rin eh. Kasi very current yung... So, wala pa silang ginagastos kasi bayad naman yung buong day nila, may pagkain sila, or transpo sila for that day. So, it's not, for me personally, hindi siya automatic. Depende rin sa how you spend that money, di ba? Ano yung lifestyle mo?
So, yun, as a producer, you identify talaga if you're doing a project. If it's not an investment on yourself and for your career, you have to be paid for it. And if you're producing it and you're the proponent, you have to treat it as a business na kailangan kumita ka from it. Kaya totoo rin naman yun na hindi naman dahil gagawa ka ng pelikula, hindi ka ikita. Kailangan mong planuhin na dapat kumita ka.
For me, challenge yung... challenge yung... For me this year, having to do 2 films. Kasi may kumbaga may bread and butter is advertising. Yeah. So, when I had to do Fireflies and then itong other film, parang it was parang opportunity cost siya. Parang I had to sort of plan na, okay, for this certain period, I won't be able to do advertising work. So, which means, I guess doon ko binibase kung ano yung parang how I would parang charge for the project, parang ganun. So, like, for example, itong 2 months na to, mawawala yung advertising work ko. So, what would be the parang commensurate amount na pwede kong i-charge for the time na... Kasi, syempre, yun nga, sinasabi nga ni Dee, parang you have to be able to earn regardless kung pelikula, TV, commercial, parang ganun. So, yun. So, that's how I sort of gauge yung yung charge.
Myra, any more questions after that? No?
This isn't so much related naman with the film, but like how do you decide when i-premiere yung film? Like, kasi di ba minsan like may a long time ago like post. How do you guys decide na, okay, ito yung showing?
Yung
Release.
break date. Oo, release date. Break date. Yung release date. iba-iba yan eh. Kasi sa independent films, most of it, siguro 80% of it, are already tied to a certain film festival. So, automatically, that's your show date. Pero for major studios naman, they decide that strategically. So, sunyari, ito, ang big premiere mo is MMFF. After that, your next strategic date na would be Valentine's. So, ganun ka nagpaplano. And tapos planuhin mo leading to that, parang backwards. Kailan mo dapat matapos yung film to be able to premiere. As I said, kailangan mo planuhin kung saan ka kikita, hindi baliktad. So, kung kikita ka ng Feb 14, doon mag-a-adjust yung business mo, yung shoot mo, yung production mo.
Okay. So, ako naman yung follow-up dun sa hard-hitting question na yan. So, with the current state ba, ng okay pa ba na mag-invest? Or ano yung mga... Kasi we all know na merong narinig ako sa Senado na sinabi na parang downward trend na yung, especially yung cinema films, di ba? So, ano yung strategic or okay na placement ng mga ads na dito? Can you elaborate on that? Kung kailan sila okay. At bakit?
Paano? Or paano siya ilalabas?
At saka bakit? Or meron pa bang ibang strategies na pwedeng gawin for films?
Okay. Yung landscape is changing, pero I don't think, lahat naman, ang buong economic cycle naman may downward and upward trend. It's never naman siya pataas lang lagi. So same with the film industry. So ngayon, sabihin natin we're na downward trend, the landscape is changing, and it's up for us to figure that out. And I don't think anyone has figured it out yet. So it's a good way na pasukin din yun and parang aralin din yun kung ano yung mga...
Other venues.
Other venues to do it.
Okay.
Sige na. Hindi, ayoko kasi magbigay ng like specific strategies kasi I don't think anyone nga has figured it out.
Figured it out. So, we're at that point.
Oo. So, parang lahat is sumusubok ng different ways.
Sila na yung mag-figure out for us. Hindi pa naman. Siguro, no? Kasi
right now, the strategy is MMFF.
Also,
if you go straight kasi to streaming, pwede kasing strategy mo is straight to streaming, pre-sell, ganyan. Pero it will automatically limit your budget. So, kung yun, automatically, hanggang ganito lang yung pwede mo shoot. So, alam mo na kagad ano lang yung material lang na pwede mong gawin doon. Pero if you're doing something as ambitious as Fireflies, parang you really have to be creative with how you make money out of it. And, try to unlock lang.
Sa MMFF rin kasi, like, the top films make money, di ba? Like half of the top films make money. Ganun yung So it's also a risk na producers are taking to find that audience. Pero for the most part, I feel like MMFF talaga yung pinaka-venue that local filmmakers are looking at. Kaya medyo stacked actually yung MMFF this year. Kasi yun na yung, di ba, assured na may local audience during that time.
Pero it's not enough nga of a venue talaga.
And sometimes it's mahirap talaga. Any more questions or before we Okay, thank you. We are so lucky to have both of them today. Thank you, Miss D. Thank you, Direct King. And class picture. Did anyone bring a camera or? Okay ka? Okay naman. This is